finally today, Ofcom, the regulator, has warned social media companies that the responsibility for keeping children and young people safe online will be on the firms and not on the parents or the Waynes themselves, and that they will face punishments for failing to keep kids safe online. Kevin Curran, we speak to Kevin for the second time this week, the Professor of Cybersecurity with the Ulster University at Magee. Kevin, a pleasure. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mark.
So Kevin, the Online Safety Act became law just under a year ago, but there's been speculation now there's no teeth in it, they're going to do nothing and all the rest. But now Ofcom is stepping in and saying, no, we mean it. Now, what does it mean in the real world, Kevin?
Yeah, it's a significant piece of legislation where the UK is attempting to become the safest place online in the world. So the key features really are that the platforms have to demonstrate a duty of care to users again. So take proactive steps to keep users safe. So they have to make sure that they've got systems in place to minimize the spread of illegal content, protect children from inappropriate material. It's calling for stricter age verification measures to make sure that children aren't accessing content. Social media companies, again, have to provide transparency reports as well. And this is all overseen by the UK communications regulator, Ofcom.
Yeah.
So they can fine companies up to 18 million or 10% of their annual global turnover, whichever is larger. And in the most serious cases, they can block platforms from the UK.
And this is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, the like of them. The Online Safety Act comes into force early next year. The regulators are often accused of talking a good talk and all the rest, but the Chief Executive, Dame Melanie Dawes, has basically said that it's all about the firms, not the parents or the kids. It's back to the old cliched argument, Kevin, isn't it? Take the like of Facebook. They've often said, look, we're just a platform. We're not the publisher. It seems now that the authorities in the UK are saying, no, it's your gig and you better police it.
Absolutely. It remains to be seen how effective it will be, but by mid-2025, again, the UK will be able, or Ofcom will be able to actually enforce this as well. At the moment, they're still going through getting information from the companies as well, and the companies have to reply in the next few months as well. But there are worries, of course, about, some people believe that Ofcom shouldn't be able to regulate speech. In other words, a lot of people are worried about free speech being prevented again. There are also worries about end-to-end encryption again. So that's what keep our messages safe. So the companies like Apple can see our messages, that could be removed, giving a backdoor to the criminals again. But gotcha. Ofcom have said, unless there are tools which allow you to do that, which there aren't, that they won't enforce it. But there are worries about that again. Again, even with the age verification, that's one of the biggest problems we have on the internet.
But I suppose, Kevin, just, kids will find ways around that, of course they do. But it's aimed specifically, I see, at self-harm material, pornography, violent content, animal cruelty and the like. I mean, you don't want to see that stuff, randomly coming up on your timeline. It can be so troubling. And a lot of stuff coming out of the Middle East this week. I'm tempted to leave Twitter. It's just so upsetting. I don't know, these companies, they would have to have millions of employees to take down every wee scrap of stuff, would they?
It is difficult. I mean, there are moves, of course, for countries to come together to form, a higher acts, really, because, again, that they brought in a few things, again, where you can share deepfake pornography as well, or any cyber flashing where unsolicited sexual images are shared again. There was no legislation really to cover that because it's so new. And one interesting thing, the Act does make it easier for bereaved parents to obtain information about their children from technology companies as well. So that is to be welcomed as well.
Gotcha. So, Ms. There's all sorts of reaction today from, as you say, bereaved parents and all the rest. But Dame Melanie Dawes, the chief executive, says that she's in close touch. They're ready to go with Ofcom. We know that some of them are preparing, but we're expecting very significant changes. You take her at face value, Kevin? Do you think there'll be tangible change? I mean, so that's before we even get to the political stuff or the Russian influence stuff, the conspiracy stuff, the rabbit hole stuff, the flat earth stuff. I mean, it can be a cesspit.
It can be, again, but because now executives can be liable, again, that don't comply with chief safety rules again, that we've had previous rule or legislation, which everyone will probably know, but GDPR again, that has forced companies to actually comply because of the fines levied against them. So I do believe that this will have some teeth. but nothing really. There's no legislation you can introduce that will address everything to do with misinformation, with content online and whatever else. It's very, very difficult. Again, like I said, there is no age verification. Again, anyone can say that whatever age they are when it comes to most services online, but something has to be done. So again, we can be critical all day long about it, but I do believe that it's a move forward.
Okay, Professor Kevin, thank you for that. Professor Kevin Curran is the Professor of Cybersecurity at McGee Ulster University. It's a huge reaction. I'm reporting on the Facebook page that the awning is going back up at the Derry Girls mural, the iconic Derry Girls. Make what you will of that. Taken down for filming, says Marty. I think the filming has been an issue this week. Put it on the back of Free Derry Wall, says Ronnie. Free the Derry Girls. It's only an awning. I'll be back this time tomorrow, folks. It's time for Hugo.
Heading for the walk of life. What kind of night had you? Oh, I had a good one.